Happy peeps, welcome to my channel. It's Suzanna here today for Peartree Cut Files, and I'm sharing my first design team layout, which is this large photo layout using that is the Build a Star 2, and then the next cut file that I'm using is the Star Cluster. They were both from this month's release. So I have pre-cut these files. You can see I've cut Star Cluster in red, and then I have used Build a Star in various colors, and I've saved the inside so that and cut it in different colors so that I can literally build a star and overlap stars over the star cluster there. So I am working with the Bella Boulevard Fireworks and Freedom. It's an older collection. It's actually a 4th of July collection, but our team colors are red and blue, and so most of my swim pages end up being red and blue. That shiny background there is, I want to say, I'm not sure who that is, to be honest. I think it is, it's something I got from Tuesday morning from a stash, a haul. I think I have like 12 or 20 of these. So it's got a silver iridescent font throughout it, and you can't read anything that it says. Dreamer, I think, is the only little day. So I think it's actually Dear Maggie. And so what I'm doing here is working on a pocket. There really isn't going to be any room for journaling on this layout, and so I'm creating a hidden pocket. So I've got a tag there, and I'm just using my double-sided tape around the 3 edges of the tag there so that the bottom of the tag or the top of the tag actually can be sticking out. And it's actually going to be a pull down tag rather than a pull to the side because I liked it the stripes at the bottom that just grounded that layout there. I had a panic moment there thinking that I'd put the tape in the wrong place. So I'm going to actually off camera change the color of the little circular protector, what's it called, reinforcer, and I'll change that to red and then pull out the white thread and put a navy thread there again just to be consistent with the colors. So now it's time to build the top of the layout. The top of the layout is literally the embellishment of the layout. I'm going to put this star cluster directly down, overlapping the photo, and then over the top, and then I'm going to layer on top of that. So one of the things that we did, because Champs was during COVID, and so we tried to do what we could to make it special for the seniors, and the seniors had these giant heads. So we sent in their photo and it was backed on, I think they were 24 inches tall, backed on kind of a styrofoam foam core. And they had these giant heads. And unfortunately, 3 of the boys decided that they needed to hold their heads up in the, well, above their heads in the team photo. And so I wanted to cover as much as I could of that. And so you can see how that star is going to overlap it, and then I'm going to find something to cover that. So some of these stars, like that one in particular, I cut out of white as well. I really wanted the overlapping look of the stars, and so if I had just used the blue border, you would have seen through that, and I didn't want that. So some of these stars have backings, white backings to them, and then you can see that's the innard of one of the cuts. And so I'm just going to scatter them, trying to mix size, density, as well as the variation between the, I'll just call it an outlined star, and then the star with the divisions in it. So I have the red, the light blue, which is actually the back side of the blue, and the blue is actually also from Tuesday morning, and that has iridescent stars in it, so there's a lot of iridescent to it, and that iridescent is almost silver, so I'm going to do the title in silver as well as sprinkle little there's silver dots that came with the kit. This is an old scrap room kit. So I'm going to cut those apart, the rows of those apart, and use them. So that there is the innard of the divided stars. So I had it in different colors and sizes, and I really like the way you can use that leftover there to create that little border at the bottom of the photo. It's hard to see, but you do see it much better in the close-ups there. So some of these stars I'm going to raise on foam just for variation of depth. Something else that you're going to see here is there's a red star, a smaller red star at the top that's gone off the edge. And I have stuck that down, so I can't pull it up, but I'm going to try. I'm going to try and cover it. I'm going to try and fill it. I'm going to try and do what I can to make that not be there or make it work, but it really bothers me that that is hanging off of the edge there. I don't mind that the other things are hanging off of the edge because they're solid and you can't see that they're not completely full. But yeah, so here's one of the other things that you need to be mindful of when you do adhere these down with liquid adhesive is it is difficult to pull them back up. But I had always intended to back that particular star there with the blue, which I've cut. So I had to pull off sort of the frayed edges and kind of weasel that in there. I should have used my metal die cut scraper thinger that pulls it off the mat to get it off, but I didn't think about that at the time. So that's how I solve covering up 2 of the 3 heads, and so now it's much less glaringly in your face that this is something that those boys have done. So this picture is of our swim team, the seniors of our swim team, because my son is a competitive swimmer and they won the short course champ season, and that was literally, I think, last weekend. And so this is the group with the banner. And this is my son's senior year, so this is his last senior short course meet, which is a big deal. And thus those big giant heads, fat heads, I forget what they're called, not fat heads, maybe fat heads, I forget what they're called, but why they had those big giant heads as part of our attempt as parents to try and make it a standout meet for them. So I'm literally adhering things down, putting centers to some of the stars, and then now I've got these little, I don't know what to call them. They're not sequins, but little silver, they're strips of silver sort of epoxy, and I'm just scattering them throughout, just sort of like little stars, but they're not stars, just to add a little bit of shimmer, more shimmer to the page there. So that is pretty much everything that I have done with the cut files from Peartree. If you are not familiar with Peartree, Peartree Cut Files is a UK-based company, and Marie has some absolutely amazing digital cut files. There's a lot of words with shapes, a lot of shapes. I want to say this month the March release included something like 50 files. She has an amazing number of files that come out monthly, and there's a Facebook group as well, and on Wednesdays she releases one free file every Wednesday, so be sure to join the group. I'll link you in the description box down below. So I want to add a few more embellishments more than just the stars from this collection, and even though it's a 4th of July collection, I can use the hearts and you see the speech bubble there and celebrate, because these kids are definitely celebrating their win. So for that speech bubble, in a second I'm going to get a pen and I'm going to just outline it to draw your attention to that. And the idea is that the date will go in there. My journaling will go in that hidden tag underneath. And I haven't done that because I'm trying to get him to do the journaling himself. I don't know that I will succeed in that effort. You never know with these teenagers, but that is what I am trying to do. So that is all of the decoration there. Now it is time to set to, see, I'm trying to pull it off. I didn't finish my sentence there. But so I'm going to try and cover it up. And so I found the star, which works perfectly, but I needed that other star to complement it so that it wasn't this random thing that just looked like it was covering that star. And that circular star works perfectly. So I want you to pay attention here to all of these fonts. So I pulled silver, blue, and red fonts, and then the red, white, and blue font to see which one I thought would work best for the title, which is simply Champs. But I am going to use all of these fonts for a complimentary page to this layout that'll actually be a photo of him swimming. It's actually a screenshot, so it's not the best photo, but I'm going to use this. So come back tomorrow to see how I use all of these fonts for a complimentary page to this. So you can't see what I'm doing, but again, you can see it in the right light. I've got Champs, and I know I cover a couple of their shoes, but it's not important, and I didn't want to add to the busyness that I've already got up the top there. Just to tie that same silver in, I'm using a couple of the little asterisks, and that, my friends, will wrap it up. So enjoy the close-ups. Be sure to check out Peartree Digital Cut Files if you haven't heard of the company. I'll leave all the links down below. If you have any questions, please don't hesitate to ask those. And come back tomorrow to see the companion layout to this using up some letter stickers. Thanks for stopping in today. I hope you're doing well. Take care.